Oh, tell you what. Morning everybody. Today you join me at the lovely Hallcroft Fishery and Caravan Park in Retford. It's only like a 15-minute drive from where I live, so it's quite local, it's quite convenient. But when I was younger, I used to fish on here quite a lot. And when I say younger, it's 2024 now, I'm 35 years old. This is how long ago it were. Late 90s, early 2000s, I used to fish up here on this very pond. That's how long this little pond here at Hallcroft's been here. It's known as the river pond. Started its life off as a stock pond. Fish used to spawn here, and all successful nettings they used to get are all small carp and fish that can go over into match lakes. They used to get shipped over there, and then it'd just be left alone again until sort of spawning happened a year later, and then they'd have periods where they'd just basically use it as a stock pond. Just take the fish over to match lakes just to top them back up again. Well, now it's like a proper little fishing pond. And when I used to fish on here, it's not that you weren't supposed to, but I used to come up with a really popular match angler back in the day, and I used to watch him fish. And in process of him getting here, setting up at match starting, I used to bring a bit of tackle and I'd get over in that corner of this lake and I'd catch like little tiny crucians and little carp. And then when match kicked off, I could go over, see how we were doing, come back on here, have another hour or two, and then go back over for weigh-in after. And it were really good. Hallcroft did have a massive flood last year. A lot of you'll remember this picture where the Moat Lake, Bridge Pool, stock ponds, it was just one mass of water, and it actually flooded all the tackle shop as well. So the bailiff and the guys in the tackle shop here have said that, yeah, there's loads of great fish in here for your small stuff, but there's also some big carp in there now that have actually made their way over time with the flooding. So I have to try and be a little bit careful today. But today's going to be even better because we are doing another cheap pole challenge. And here I have a Browning Powerhouse carp 12.5 metre pole. And this thing, for as cheap as it cost me, is next to brand new still. There's not a single scratch or mark on any of its sections. There's no cracks, there's no repairs. This thing were purchased and then it were took to a second-hand shop by probably someone who don't know much about fishing and just given away, because I paid £3 for this. Yep, a local shop near me takes in pre-loved items, including fishing tackle, tools, you name it, for free. They take it in. So if you want to relieve yourself of some stuff, people take in what's not worth much to them and give it to charity shop. What happens then is they sell it for a very cheap price as a donation back to the organisation, go back towards the charity or paying the bills, etc. And this was in there on one particular day. Browning, so if it's got living up to the reputation that Browning's got, it's probably going to be a very good pole. I've not really had it out at full length yet, so I'm yet to see where it sort of sits like, how much it weighs, how it feels. But I've got a spray bar, and to not make it complicated this morning, I've come down with maggots, pinkies, and a few expander pellets, just to try and fish for some of these roach, rudd, perch, skimmers, and so on and so forth. So that is today's cheap pole challenge. I've got a couple of top kits here, which I've got out the top kit bin at home. They're not branded ones, but they fit perfect. I've trimmed them down. I probably took 10mm off each one, and they fit perfect. So in one of these, I've got Preston Slip number 5 elastic. Just like I say, these small stuff. They're long kits as well, so I've got plenty of elastic to go at. And in the other one, I've got the almighty, very famous Preston Slip 6 as well, which don't want to go back in. There we go. So I'll talk you through some top kits when we get set up. I want to finish my brew first and just soak the place in, but it's currently the 17th of October. It's been a really cold night, but it's given it to be about 18 degrees today. What fish don't like is it going really warm and then dropping off really cold. That's when it can have a knock-on effect at morning. Luckily, the fish that we're going to be fishing for today are those sort of fish that like to explore all the upper layers of the water as the sun comes out and it gets warm. So I've picked a peg at Midlet Lake, and hopefully just by fishing in front of us, I might even try a long line as well, Might be able to catch some of these rudd that are quite famous in here. Apparently there's some good rudd in here, you can get a good bag of rudd. No keep nets. If you follow rules here, no keep nets. I've not even asked for permission. No keep nets. I'll talk you through fish as I'm going them. It would have been nice to have a nice catch shot, but you know, rules are there for a reason. And if ever I do get permission on a commercial like Allcroft or anywhere else to use a keep net for any of these videos, believe me, I always ask, because it's worth it for you guys, and even more so for them in shop as well. So we've got maggots, pinkies, some expanders there which I've done overnight in fridge. I've got some Revolution baits, Skimmer and Bream Dark and GG Green mix 50-50. I did it last night just simply because it was going to be different conditions this morning, and I thought I'll mix it last night. I always find that if you're going to be starting on a cold day, mixing your ground bait night before just tends to work a little bit better in my favour statistically. I don't know if there's any actual fact behind it for all you guys, but it works well for me. So let's get the cheap hole challenge underway. Right, so we've got to that point now where we set up, we've plumbed up. I'm not going to talk you through plumbing up, you don't have to do that. Days like today when you've got a nice flat bottom and you're fishing on bottom for small fish and you're looking for lift indications just as much as you're looking for drop indications, you want to be on your pole float. If you've got like half a bristle showing, you just want to plumb up to halfway down your body, or even to bottom sometimes, just so you're laying on a bit, just so there's no resistance when fish are picking up your hook bait. Now today I've gone for a Drennan A3S 0.3 gram. It's 013 to 011 down to a size 18 barbless Drennan carbon hook. A array of shots on here that they've put on. It's one of them. It's a ready rig. It's not one I've made myself. It's a ready rig. There's like shirt button style, a little tiny bulk, and then shirt button style again. And I'm fishing, what's that, probably 3.5 4 foot of water. It's quite level all the way out there. It's not really deep, and from what I've been told, it's pretty much the same all the way across, apart from right over in that corner. So that's my top kit, down to a little tiny fruit shoot pot, if you can see that. So this time of year I'm going to be potting in at the start anyway, just to get a load of feed down there to form a base layer. What I'll do then is I'll go straight over at top with hook bait, whether it be pinky or maggot or caster, and then when bites slow, or if there's fish there pretty much immediately, I've got my pot ready just to thumb in a little bit of ground bait or micro pellets with a couple of loose offerings, so I can just pot it in over at top as well. Nice and easy. Second top kit, not even put a rig on it, simply because the water I've got at what's that, 8 metre, 7 metre, it's the same as I've got in front of me, so it's just easier and more convenient with a bit of Tipex just to mark on my top kit where my float was on the previous swim and go from there. Right, hook baits, I've got some fluoro pinkies, I've got some maggots with a few casters in there. I've had them for a few days, so you know, casters aren't much of a problem to me in my maggots. I can use them as a change bait. I've got some Hallcroft fishery micros that are nicely soaked, just again if I change to, you know, expander pellet, I can always pot in a couple of micros, or if I've got any skimmers coming into my peg and they want to stay grubbing around in that ground bait, I've got some of those I can put in, and that'll just keep them a bit busy trying to anchor down. I've got some 4mm expanders there. Put them in a pot overnight. This is the pot I use, little tiny pot. Put them in there overnight, fill it halfway full of water, chuck it in the fridge, in the morning, take it out, leave them in there, chuck it in your bag, and then pour them into a shallow tray. So the water that's in there with them is the water that came out of that as well. And that means they'll not dry out. They've got some sort of, they've got more absorbing to do through the day if they need to. And yeah, pretty much ready to go. And then we have got the ever faithful Revolution Baits GG Green, which is an absolute fish magnet. And I've 50-50'd that with Dark Roach and Skimmer and Bream Dark. Makes a really good mix. Got plenty on it back at house, it's shared, and I thought I'll just make a nice mix up and get it ready for today. And anyone that's a loyal Revolution Baits customer will know that smell. It smells incredible, absolutely wicked, absolutely fish magnet stuff. And today I'm going to see if we can catch some of these roach and rudd on it for you. Cheap pole challenge, so it's not like I'm an all-out match angler for you today. Just going to be fishing out there it's these conditions where sun is over there, you might not be able to see the float, but I'll talk you through it as we go along anyway, and just see what £3 in a 12.5 metre pole can get you on a day ticket fishery. So without further ado, have I covered everything? Yep. I'm going to pour myself a brew and get cupped in. Right, so we've already plumbed up. Top kit, it's one of them Preston cup kits. It's quite handy for these challenges, this, because I can just adjust it to where I need it to be for whatever size number 4 it's going on to, because obviously not all poles, the same different brands have different diameter in number 4s. So this is an absolute treat, to be fair. Right, so to start with, I want to put in a little tiny ball. I've only got a small pot on my cup kit as well. So little tiny nugget, the ground bait going in there. And then what I'm going to do is just pop in a few loose offerings like that. And then it is just a matter of getting out onto that mark. So I've got a marker which is that tree in front of me, not the prominent white tree you can see, which I think is a white birch. Not a tree guy, so if anyone you want to correct me, go for it. Right, so get lined up with my tree, where I'm going to be sat, slowly turn the cup over, lower it in, easy as that, yeah? Ideally in a normal situation, you'd pot in on that line first if you were fishing a different line, and then if you've got sort of no indications on your first line that you go on, you can then drop on that one in the hope that the fish have eventually moved on. But today we're going straight in for the YouTubes. So nice simple rig. I'm going to go with a pinky, a nice easy free offering for anything that is down there. I'm not putting no loose offerings in my pole pot. Just going straight out onto that line. So I'll get my marker, lift my rig right out until my hook bait's free at water, and just slowly lower it in like that. And just wait until it gets to a point where I've got a couple of inches to go, and just drop it. And that bulk of drop shots at the bottom will just get a bit of life and a bit of movement into my hook bait as it goes down towards all that loose offering, as it goes down to all that ground bait that we've potted in. It's just a waiting game now, just see if we get any indications. Lovely morning. Really nice morning here today. It's actually a caravan park in the fishery itself. So you've got people out walking the dogs and going up and going to work in the morning, because people actually live here as well. So it's really, really nice. Little tiny indication then. When I say it could have been a small fish, that's what we're after, that is what we are targeting. So let's see if anything produces from this area. Again, it's all live as well. I'm not like one of these anglers where I start filming for you, but 3 hours before I've put in a kilo of ground bait and already caught 500 fish. This is all live. It's all raw, sorry, not live. It's all pre-recorded. And that's the beauty of it. This is the closest you're going to get to a day's fishing yourself, by watching somebody else turn up, put some bait in and a bit of ground bait and the hook bait, and just waiting for that first bite. Because this is how it pretty much goes for everybody that's going out for a day's pleasure fishing. Whee, there we go. First fish. That's what we're after. Again, no TV magic here, folks, because the more TV magic I have to do, the more editing I have to do. And I like to chill out and watch the telly with the lady when I get in. Lovely perch to start with. Look at that. Nice little perch to start with, probably about 6 ounce, nothing massive. Barbless hook, right in scissors. Easy. Easy, innit? So first fish, done. So now my landing net can live there. Right, now I know I've got mouths that big in my swim, I want to put on a red maggot. And again, I'm not going to feed, I'm just going to go straight over the top. I've already put them loose offerings in. If I've had that fish there, odds are I've got a couple there. Hopefully we'll have stirred up a little bit of that base feed for us. So I'm dropping it in nice and slowly with my marker, which is tree in background. That's what, that marker over there is not necessarily my pole. That's what I want between, that's what I want at the end of me, my float, and then my marker. Oh, straight away. Oh, and she's off. The beauty of barbless hooks, you don't even need to get them in to take them off. Right, straight back in. Hopefully fellas and fellettes and theys and thems, might be in for a busy day for you today. Quite like it when it's nice and busy like this. Shame about keeping it, but I do understand it. Just try and minimise the risk of spreading any diseases whatsoever. When I go out anywhere, I always use a fresh net every day, and other one will stay on washing line until the last one's been used. And like, I'll always fill my stink bag full of water and give it a good shake and empty it as well. But sometimes I can go periods where I don't go fishing for like 2 or 3 weeks. Last thing I want is nets stinking away in my kit. Has he burgled me that one? I think he's took me up bait. Back in. And what I'll do is, a couple more indications will then tell me what sort of feed I need to be putting in. And then I'll start and dropping a couple of loose offerings through that pot. Beautiful. Lovely here today. Oh, look at that, straight away, small fish. But that's what we're here for. What's that? Little roach. Tiny little roach. Swallowing absolutely everything. There you are, little tiny roach. And then what I'm going to do is a couple of micros in that pot. It's only a fruit shoot cap as well, so it's not like I'm putting loads of feed in. Keeping it nice and steady. Out to my marker first, come down, get the feed out, and then lower my rigging. You want to do it in that order. Beautiful. Oh, straight away. That was an hungry fish for you, that one. Oh wow, what have we got here? Ah, lovely roach, that one. So, 3 fish in, and we're already getting what we're after. So I'm not going to pot in every put in or after every fish. The bites will tell me when I need to feed or not. But so far, very, very busy fishing. Oh, and another one. Rear swinger. He is. I probably shouldn't have, but he is. Look at that. Another handful of roach again, that one. Oh. A keep net today would have been in creds. I'll show you a right net of fish after. If he comes round, I'll ask him again. And just say, look, I'm bagging up. The YouTubes are loving it. canoper are keeping it out so I can show everyone just how amazing it is here. For £7 for day ticket as well, people. Nice and friendly on the old purse. Put you over there. Right, so lower it in, get your marker. It's important to get on that same spot pretty much every time. This time of year you don't want to be creating a massive bed of bait everywhere. The idea is just to drop down, oh I missed that one, drop down onto the same spot. This is a really light pole as well, it's a carp pole. So normally got a bit more strength to them, probably a bit more resin properties in the old carbon. But it's really light, I'm fishing it probably 7 metre, 8 metre at the minute. What number's this? Don't know what number section I'm on. But really light, really easy to use. I'm not even on my spray bar. Another small fish. Oh, another roach. Love this. Nobody in this world doesn't like roach fishing. Absolutely nobody. This time I'm going to go with a caster. Just going to mix it up a bit. If you all don't know how to hook a caster, you go in through 2 eyes and then the point of the hook comes out the side of the actual caster for this sort of fishing. Right, there's actually a match kicking off next door on Moat Pool, so bit of traffic turning up there. Beautiful. I tell you what, it's perfect. Not a massive chop on water. Nice and calm, you're out at wind. I've got the River Ibble, or Ibble, I don't know what the locals refer to it as, behind me. Did a bit of a TV feature on there a few months ago. And you can day ticket fish that as well. Bailiff said there's some decent barbel in there and some chub. But there's been a couple of chaps coming up for roach out of there as well. So that's quite interesting for you all. Ooh, no indication on that. I'll leave it there for a couple of seconds, and normally with a caster, when you've been fishing maggots, it normally produces a better fish. In there, are you going to have it? Yes. There we go. Oh, and he's off. Right, so lift it right out, and you want to lower it in nice and straight with your marker. Perfect. Whoa. Bite straight away then. Not ideal fish. That would have been a fish taking it on the drop. What I'll do is when I start potting in balls of ground bait afterwards, I'll actually integrate my loose feed with it, just to prevent creating a channel through water, because that can draw, especially if you're fishing for roach and rudd. Sometimes you can draw them up and they do feel more comfortable feeding up in the water than they do actually on the bottom. Ooh, something we're nosing with that then. So we're caster on, you don't really want to be missing bites and then putting it back in again, because odds are it's burst it. But we'll have one more. We'll have to just dive straight. Oh, there we go. Better fish. Very nice. Incredible fishing, this, people. Can't stress it enough. If you enjoy hooking into great massive, oh my god, that was probably a 1/8 pound roach as well, that. No, oh, yeah, we've got one. Don't know what's happening to my top kit, but there we go. A bit of a Joe Mangle then. I think this is a skimmer. I could have sworn I just seen it. Nope, don't go in there. Beautiful. This is proper fishing, isn't it? Oh no, another big roach. Look at the size of these. Get this one out and show you this one. Oh my life. Should have been a day with keeping it. Look at that for an handful of roach. Look at him. He's a proper handful of roach, isn't he? stunnings. Oh, there we go, people. That were a nice bite for you. And again, this elastic is doing all work for me, so I can just hold my pole where it is. When my fish starts coming back, I can start and come back with it onto my roller, top kit off, into my pole sock, and then I can just grab my landing net and I'm ready to net it. And this time we've got a nice perch again. Oh, lovely, lovely. So, nice handful of perch. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Right, so this time, a couple of magpies. Have to be quick maggots because they can crawl out through the bottom of the pot. Down, feed your swim, so pot under, lift up, that's all emptied. Then when you drop your hook bait in and your rig, you're just following it all down like that. Nice and steady, there we go. And it's fishing instantly. So we know there's fish down there, we know they're feeding. That loose feed should just fall straight under their noses, bang. And fish on, just like that for you. What we got? Another roach. Yeah, another couple of ounces there, little roach. Oh, bit of an indication then, and she's on. Lovely. Probably going to get an habit of netting these roach because, I mean, if I were fishing 7 or 8 slip, I'd probably be swinging them in, but I don't want to risk it. But another nice roach there. So, happy to be waiting longer for a bite on pellet. Oh, there we go. And it's just gone. It normally does produce you better fish. Perch tend to stay away from pellets as well. But your roach, your skimmers, you know, that sort of fish that you'd be aiming to catch on pellet. And again, I don't really have a real need to prepare any expanders anymore because at fishing I do. But nice little roach there, look. Just because I'm on an expensive box and I've got expensive, you don't have to have any of this. If you've got your wits about you, you can do all this on a Shakespeare box with a pole, which is another idea for you all. Quite happy to do a Shakespeare box special. You know, one of them with octopus kits on. That'd be awesome. But yeah, you can get one of them boxes and pole fish. I see people pole fishing in fishing chairs, so you know it can be. You know, don't get put off because at tackle I'm sat on. It helps. Well, that's not why I've brought you here today. Because without it, I'd still be catching these fish. Just with a chair or an old box and a side tray, it's all you need. Don't need to be complicated. Even rigs I'm using, they're not even Preston rigs, they're ready-made Drennan rigs. You can just pick up pretty much any ready-made rig and have a day's fishing with it. And another one. Should probably really hit them. Yeah, and I'm going to. Just like another roach. Oh wow. This is amazing fishing, this. Can't stress it enough for anybody wanting to come up and have a day. Allcroft's a big old scary place for a lot of people. Big commercial, lots of fishing matches on here every day. A lot of people just forget that there's actually some really enjoyable days fishing to be had. So please don't sit at home thinking that, you know, these big fisheries intimidate you. Really welcoming people in shop, cafe on site, tackle shop. You can get your pellets, you can get maggots, they've got it all here. I'm parked just behind Peg as well, so just where you are, I'm just parked behind Peg. Really, really nice place to be sat. So, another expander. I'm going to go in for this one more fish. In fact, I'm not even going to put in that pot. I'm going to go in for one more and then I'll feed. Oh, there we go. So this fish now, we're going to feed after this one. Another roach. God, I tell you what, I wish I'd have been allowed a keep net today. These roach are incredible. Look at him. Look at him. Lovely. Oh, top kit. Up that on there. And then we want this one. I'm going to put another nugget of ground bait in the pot, which I'm going to feed, but this time, to save making a mix straight away, you just get some maggots in one hand, ground bait in other, and just sort of knead them together like that, and just press them into the ground bait, like so. Put it in. Again, I'm not piling loads of feed out because I need to try and keep the fish there that are interested. If I whack in a load of feed, it's quite easy for other fish to come and push them out the way. So, perfect. So, because I've just fed it, not putting anything in the pot, going straight back out, single red maggot this time, just see if I can get a quick indication in a quick fish. And if I know they're still there and they're still feeding confidently, I can go back out on an expander or a caster, for example. Oh, feels a better fish. I don't think it's a carp, might be a little tiny. No, I thought it was going to start sailing off then, but we're alright. Oh, big perch. Well, big perch. Big for today. As I'm netting these fish and bringing them in, these carp are just still down here in front of me peg, absolutely fine. But, nice perch there, look. What would you give me for him? About 10 ounce? About 10 ounce. They always look smaller on camera, don't they? That's what I used to tell my missus before I met her. Oh. Better fish. Definitely not what we had. Oh, actually, what is it? A skimmer? I think it's a skimmer. Just took off like a great big wobbly carp. Yeah, I think it's coming in. Yeah, skimmer, I think. I've not got a pulley kit on either, so I'll play it to my side. Get me landing it out there ready. Oh, a lovely bream. Oh, that's what we want. Look at him. Lovely bream that. As if you don't want to be catching them on expanders. Absolutely nailed as well. Alright, dunking back in there with these carp. That's what we want, people, some of them. I do not mind them at all. The easiest way to get around your bream snot as well is to either pull it all the way up or down your line, like that to your hook, and just pull your hook through it. Straight back on the expanders. Cheap pole challenge in full swing now. If we do manage to catch a bonus carp, it'll be welcome. I'm not going to be annoyed, I'm not geared up for it, but you know, these things happen, don't they? And again, just a few micros in there, nothing major. See, when it gets really cold and you're fishing through ice, that's when these little pots really do come into play, because you can just put in tiny little thumbnail size areas of bait. Oh, there's a big carp on top there near me, Paul. Please don't follow that down. And they're great for winter fishing. I mean, they're good for autumn fishing like now, but they're great for winter fishing. Just putting little bits of feed in, like for one mouthful at a time, from just passing fish. It's gone really calm now, it's really nice. Ooh, small indication then, quite quick that. Oh, and again, might have had a nice group of skimmer bream turn up, people, I think. Really wish I could have had it keeping it out for you today. Please don't go in there. Oh, is it a big roach? It's a big roach, people. Oh my life, look at him. Absolutely stunning, that. Look at that. Absolute bar of silver. I don't know if the sun can see that. Right. Let's get you back in there. So, time for a big pot. Let's get I'll tell you what, the Enjoyment micros. Let's get a bunch of micros in there. A small nugget of ground bait. That way, when they're digging around for these micros, the ground bait will cloud up and disperse on the bottom. Just give them something to really get stuck into. Oh, there we go. So out we go, onto the spot. Micros in. Easy. You can see that cupping kit doesn't even fit on that number 4 section. Right, so where are we? See what kind of water we've got at 12.5 metre. I don't need to fish at 12.5 metre, but I'm going to, because what's the point in doing a cheap pole challenge if we can't catch roach at 12.5 metre? Oh, tell you what, it's not an uncomfortable pole to work with this. So I'm down at, what's that, 11 metre? Let's give us number 12 on. Or was number 10, should I say? Oh wow, so yeah, I've got the same water right out there. Oh my god, look at the bend in that thing. So if I keep the same marker as what I've got now, yeah, I have got the same water out there at 12.5 metre than what I've got in here. So I don't even think I need to mess about changing my depth. So I'm going to leave it at that. Again, it's a carp pole, people, so what were I at, number 6? If I can break it off there, I can double ship at that. Now, this is going to be a risky business cupping out that far with this cupping kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bang in some micros, not many, and a nugget of ground bait. That's it. Put that in there. A couple of maggots, eh? What do you reckon? A few. Some of them. Let's see if we can catch some fish at 12.5 more. Let's see if we can get this cupping kit out there first without it coming off. That should hold. I reckon that'll hold. I think we're just looking into it too much, people. Right, here we go. Not a fan of this at all. I'm going to have to try and get a decent cupping kit for this pole because it's just a really big cumbrous pole. Do not want to get that in the water at all. Alright, let's see how we go with that. What do you reckon there? A bit further. Right, get it back in. Right, losing that cupping kit. Oh. Not a fan of that, people. Right, let's go out there. We'll get a top kit that's got a rig on it, because that way we'll be able to catch some fish. We'll go with a single white maggot. Right, let's try again. Can you catch fish at 12.5 metres on a pole that costs you £3? Well, people, let's find out. So up we come, down the same tree as the same marker as before. I've gone with an orange bristle this time because I've got a lot of sunny tint water out there. And I can see it's like a lighthouse. Oh, a bit of a lift bite then. That means something's probably took it on drop. I'm just waiting for that orange float tip just to sink under. And see if we can catch a fish, 12.5 metre on a £3 pole. Oh, a bit of an indication then. And again, I'm not looking to a massive strike, just enough to lift that pole tip up and just look into my fish, like that, look. Oh, is he off? No, he's still on. So there we are, folks. 12.5 metre, £3 pole fish. And I'm going to be doing some double shipping as well. It's still on, yeah. So down to my number 6 section, which is there. And then back we come. Again, if you're fishing out that long, you've got to be cautious anyway. But if you know, like this venue today, fishing close in is all you need to do. But you never know when you're going to need 12.5 metres to go back out onto a different swim. So there's a roach, and just so it's not a fluke, let's go and get another one. So single white maggot. I might even sit on that swim out there for a bit and just get used to some long pole fishing, who knows. So we're only going off what we're pouring with cup kit as well, not filling cad pot up. It's quite a tidy pole, to be fair, for its age. It's been stored nicely, it's not been abused. I don't think it's ever been used, or someone's only ever used like top few sections and top kits with it, because it's just, there's no dings, there's no scratches. It's like a brand new pole. Right, 12.5 metre, up we go. Oh, down onto that swim. And again, I'm not an avid pole angler, guys, either, so this is just as fresh to me this morning as it will be to you guys when you go out doing it. But back on that feed, that rig's settling now. We're not looking to like bent poling off and strike right up into it. Just when that float just starts to sink under, we just want to slowly lift up and just connect with it. So that's float's going down, we want to be coming up. Little indication then, small dip, and another one. Oh, a bit of wind out there. Again, it's a massive banana, but this is not a pole designed for fishing long. It's a cart pole, so 9 times out of 10, close range work or margin work, and then you've got your 12 metre to follow your fish out should they start bottoming out elastics. But it's not a chore sitting here with it, that's for sure. It's not, you know, it's not a nightmare. I'm not struggling. I'm not an avid pole angler, so that also doesn't help. I'll get a couple more fish out here and then we'll come short and try for some more of them breams and skimmers for you. Just got a bit of a leaf on my float there, that's it. But anyone wanting to go into pole fishing, you'd probably start with a pole like this anyway. And then when you do sort of upgrade and start putting a bit of money into getting yourself a decent pole, you know, you normally end up, this is going to be a bream or a skimmer, you normally end up starting on something light with a new pole. And if you've learnt to fish with pole on something heavy like this, it makes it even easier when you do get a new pole that's lighter and a bit more versatile. Nice skimmer out there, look, so I'm just taking it nice and steady coming in. Not rushing him at all. Breaking off there. That elastic's working absolutely incredible. Down to my top kit. Get my landing net ready, and he's a lovely skimmer. Like a little baby, like a little bream, this one again, like that last one. Come on, you. There we go. Lovely little slab, that. Oh. And there we go. 12.5 metre pole. £3 it cost me. Catching lovely skimmer bream like him. In fact, he's nice and northern, and at that size we'd call him a bream. So I'm going to get him back, pour myself a cup of tea and enjoy an absolutely fabulous session on the cheap pole challenge, catching some amazing fish like this. Ooh, took tip at pole in then. There we go. What we got? We're just waiting for that first. Oh, there we go, look. There he is. There we go. Another, like, what, 3 or 4 ounce fish. Waiting for that. Oh, straight away, look. Oh, he's a swinger. If you can see that. From a maggot to a expander, we're kind of after those bigger fish. And there we are. Nice little roach. Oh, like that. So if you look at him, a single maggot on there, look. Oh, better fish actually. Lovely perch, single white maggot. As if that one right there isn't enough reason to get yourself to Allcroft and get some roach fishing done. Look at him. And we've had bigger than him today as well, but probably a good fish to end on that. Absolutely fabulous morning up here. Just to give you a rough idea at time, it's 5 to 1. I've stopped for half hour, had a sandwich and a brew and everything. I've, you know, just answered a couple of phone calls. But look at the size of that thing. A real palm filler. It just goes to show that your day's fishing does not need to be expensive. And if you've got a pole at home and you're thinking, oh, I don't really know whether to go out, I don't know what people will say or think, just know you can catch bags and bags of roach like this on a £3 second-hand pole. So let's get him straight back in. There he goes. And I think that is a good time to conclude today's session. Right, so a bit of a session overview for you all. We came here this morning to fish on the stock pond here at Allcroft, and we weren't trying to keep it on a budget, but the idea was to show you that you can have an enjoyable day's fishing on some really cheap tackle. I don't mean low quality, I mean cheap, low priced. So when we hear something that's cheap, we sort of think, oh, it's nasty, it's not well made, it's not well manufactured. And today we've come to Allcroft fishing with a Browning Powerhouse Carp 12.5 metre pole. And although this isn't, in today's climate, an ideal pole to fish at 12.5 metres, it's a great pole for fishing sort of mid-range for roach and perch and bream like we have done today. But I'm guessing there's no harm in going down Edgeway a couple of sections, hooking into some massive wobbly carp, and that the dynamics of this pole completely go out at windy when you're 12.5 metres out there, bottoming out your elastic with a £20 carp on. So is it a waste of money? Well, no, of course it's not. It was £3. But even back in its day, a lot of attention and detail went into producing this pole from Browning. And this one's, it's practically still brand new. Like, it's really, really new. It's got a couple of blemishes here and there, but a couple of top kits with it with some light elastic. And we've had a blinding day's fishing for you all. Using simple baits, pinkies, maggots, Revolution baits as finest ground baits, a couple of expander pellets and a bunch of micros. And as you can see from that, I've got a ton of bait left. I really want to stay here and get a couple more hours fishing done. I kind of really need to get home and have some dinner. But fishing with a couple of ready-made Drennan rigs as well. I'm not really a Drennan person, but these were like £2 off its shelf in a tackle shop, and I thought I'll grab some of them and just, you know, just show you that if you've got a pole and a couple of quid, to grab yourself a couple of ready rigs and a pint of maggots, get yourself somewhere, get a day ticket bought, and there's loads of great fishing to be had. And I'm going to put it down to quite a success today. This thing is going to go back home with me, it's going to sit in the shed, and I dare say at some point we'll have it out for another feature and do another cheap pole challenge, or, you know, probably let it live up to its name as a powerhouse carp pole, and get back up here to Walcroft one day, get down edge and start hooking some absolute monsters on it and just seeing how it performs, because that is what it's designed for. Big carp, short range fishing, with just the added security of going out and following your fish out, should it bottom your elastic out. If you've not already, remember to like and subscribe. If you've got any suggestions for cheap tackle challenge, or cheap pole, or cheap rod, cheap reel, or even cheap venue, if there's anything that you want me to show you on a budget, just to help you get out on bank this winter when it's going to be a bit tough and bites are a bit scarce, let me know, drop it in comments and we'll see where we go. So from me and this powerhouse carp browning pole, which has absolutely like made the day ticket worth its weight in gold today, we will see you on the next one.